Noise often obscures the power of silence, as we are immersed in a world full of ceaseless communication, be it through talking, texting, or social media. But Buddhist teachings indicate that silence is not just precious, but it can be tremendously transformative. It can be used as a potent tool, particularly in 5 key situations. This exploration of Buddhist teachings will shed light on the value of silence in these circumstances, offering deep insights that can guide us towards a more mindful, harmonious, and meaningful existence. Let's delve into these ancient wisdoms, acknowledging the tranquility of silence as a solution to our life's challenges. Silence is more than just a lack of noise. It's a profound state of existence. Famous Vietnamese Zen master Thich Nhat Hanh said that we need silence as much as we need air or sunlight. If our minds are filled with thoughts and words, we lack the space for inner reflection. Buddhism highlights this need for space and encourages it in various life aspects. Silence paves the way to inner peace, mindfulness, and self-awareness. It lets us listen to the world and, more significantly, to the subtle voice of our hearts and minds. It's a powerful tool that can change how we interact with the world and handle life's challenges. The journey through the 5 situations where Buddhism advises silence is not about being indifferent or passive. It's about being consciously present, tuned in, and deliberate. Let's explore these situations, understand their importance, and adopt silence as a means of empowerment. Silence in the face of anger is one instance. We must remain silent when we are angry. This advice carries profound wisdom because anger is a powerful, often destructive, emotion. When we are angry, our words and actions can lead to unforeseen consequences. Buddhism suggests that anger stems from attachment, aversion, and ignorance. When we cling to our desires or dislikes and fail to realize the impermanence and interdependence of all things, anger can take control. In such moments, silence is a strong remedy. Silence allows us to pause and reflect on the source of our anger. It gives us the opportunity to step back, observe our emotional response without instant judgment or reaction. With silence, we can practice mindful breathing and self-examination, providing insight into the root causes of our anger. It also guards us against the harmful words and actions that often accompany anger, preventing us from harming ourselves and others. In the quietness of restraint, we can safeguard our relationships and foster a calm and understanding atmosphere. Buddhist tradition tells a tale of 2 arrows. The first arrow represents the initial pain or suffering we encounter when something distressing occurs. The second arrow signifies the suffering we inflict on ourselves due to our reaction to the first arrow. By practicing silence when angry, we can avoid launching that second arrow, thus minimizing unnecessary suffering. To truly grasp this teaching, it's crucial to understand anger itself and why Buddhism advocates silence as the appropriate response. Buddhism views anger as an expression of our attachments and aversions. When we intensely desire something or vehemently reject a situation, anger can arise as a response to the perceived threat to our desires or aversions. Our attachment to desires often obscures our perceptions of the world's interconnectedness and the transient nature of everything around us. In moments of anger, silence becomes a haven of self-awareness and introspection. When we are angry, our minds are consumed by emotions, and our thoughts can be irrational and impulsive. Our words and actions in this state may lead to regret and harm ourselves or others. Silence enables us to distance ourselves from the immediate intensity of our anger. It provides a cushion between our emotions and our reactions, allowing us not to act out impulsively in the moment of anger. Instead, we can breathe, invite a moment of quietude, and observe the anger without judgment. This practice is deeply rooted in mindfulness and self-awareness, essential elements of the Eightfold Path. In silence, we can ask ourselves crucial questions. Why am I angry? What am I clinging to in this situation? What aversion is triggering this anger? Such self-inquiry can lead to significant insights into the root causes of our anger. We might find that our attachments are unrealistic, our aversions are based on misconceptions, or our expectations are the sources of our suffering. Furthermore, silence serves as a protective shield from the repercussions of our impulsive words and actions. In a fit of anger, we might utter harsh words or make regrettable choices. Opting for silence, we deter ourselves from harming others and preserve the integrity of our relationships. The tale of the two arrows underscores this point. The first arrow embodies the initial pain or suffering we encounter when something distressing occurs. This is inevitable. However, the second arrow signifies the self-inflicted suffering through our reaction to the first arrow. By reacting to the first arrow with anger, we launch the second arrow, causing unnecessary suffering. Through the practice of silence in moments of anger, we can learn to handle the first arrow more effectively. We acknowledge the pain, but we don't exacerbate it with our anger and reaction. This not only diminishes our suffering, but also prevents us from harming others, promoting a more compassionate and harmonious environment. Silence in the face of anger calls for mindfulness, self-examination, and restraint. It empowers us to convert anger into understanding and compassion. By adopting this teaching, we can progressively cultivate emotional resilience and wisdom. The practice of silence when angry is not about suppressing our emotions or denying their existence. Instead, it's an invitation to engage with our emotions in a more productive and mindful way. When we choose silence, we create a space for self-reflection and self-compassion. We acknowledge our anger without judgment and observe it with curiosity. This simple act of paying attention to our emotions can be transformative. Aside from self-awareness, silence enables us to listen more attentively to others. When we're angry, we often focus only on our feelings and viewpoints. We might be so entangled in our emotions that we fail to listen to what the other person is saying or empathize with their perspective. By opting for silence, we can open our hearts and minds to a more profound understanding of the situation and the individuals involved. The power of silence in the face of anger lies in its ability to disrupt the cycle of reactivity. When we react with anger to a situation, we often ignite a series of negative emotions and actions. Our anger can elicit defensiveness or counter-anger in others, leading to a damaging cycle of conflict. Silence interrupts this pattern, offering a chance for a more peaceful and constructive resolution. The practice of silence when angry is ultimately about fostering understanding, compassion, and peace. Tempted to engage in this behavior? Is it out of envy, anger, or fear? Such self-reflection can lead to personal growth and transformation. It helps us understand the root causes of our actions and encourages us to cultivate more positive and beneficial behaviors. Moreover, choosing silence can influence those engaging in gossip or slander to reconsider their words. When we refuse to participate or listen to harmful conversations, it sends a message that we do not condone such behavior. Our non-participation might inspire others to contemplate the impact of their words and to practice right speech. Gossip and slander are prevalent in our society, and their negative effects are well documented. In the context of Buddhism, these behaviors are seen as violations of right speech, one of the elements of the Eightfold Path. Right speech teaches us to use our words mindfully and ethically, fostering honesty, kindness, and beneficial communication. The admonition against gossip and slander is grounded in the understanding of the power of words. Words have the ability to shape our reality, affect our emotions, and impact the lives of others. When we engage in gossip or slander, we often do so out of negative emotions such as envy, resentment, or anger. These emotions can cloud our judgment and lead us to speak untruths or exaggerate the faults of others. The harm caused by gossip and slander is twofold. Firstly, it harms the person being spoken about. False or unkind words can damage their reputation, lead to emotional distress, and strain relationships. Secondly, it harms the speaker. Engaging in negative speech can create negative karmic consequences, leading to suffering in the future. Moreover, it perpetuates negative emotions within the speaker, contributing to their own suffering. Choosing silence in the face of gossip and slander is a powerful way to interrupt the cycle of negativity. It is an act of non-participation, a refusal to contribute to the spread of harmful words. This not only aligns with the principles of right speech, but also protects our own karma and emotional well-being. Silence offers us a moment of pause, a chance to reflect on our intentions and values. When we encounter gossip or slander, we can ask ourselves why we are drawn to this harmful behavior. Is it because of envy, resentment, or fear? By answering these questions honestly, we can transform our actions and cultivate more positive behaviors. Ultimately, silence in the face of gossip and slander is about promoting respect, kindness, and harmony in our relationships and society. In conflict resolution, when we listen actively, we are not only hearing the words spoken, but we are also paying attention to the emotions, intentions, and needs behind the words. This increased understanding can help to diffuse tension and open the path for mutual understanding. Moreover, silence helps us to disengage from the cycle of reactivity. When we respond to conflict with anger, defensiveness, or blame, we often escalate the situation, making it more challenging to find a resolution. Silence breaks this cycle, providing a pause for reflection and thoughtful response. In this pause, we can introspect about the root causes of the conflict. We can ask ourselves, is the conflict triggered by our own unchecked emotions or unmet needs? Are we holding unrealistic expectations or clinging to our viewpoints rigidly? This insight can then guide us towards a more skillful resolution. In the midst of conflict, silence also allows us to practice compassion, both self-compassion and compassion for others. By recognizing and acknowledging our own emotions without judgment, we cultivate self-compassion. We also begin to see the suffering of the other party, fostering compassion for them. Silence during conflict does not mean we should remain silent always. It means that we should choose our words mindfully when we do speak, ensuring they are truthful, necessary, and beneficial. This principle of right speech, taught in Buddhism, helps to resolve conflicts in a respectful and harmonious manner. Ultimately, silence in the midst of conflict is about taking a step back from the heat of emotions and the rush of reactivity. It is about creating a space of calm and clarity from where we can navigate the conflict with wisdom and compassion. By embracing this practice, we can transform our conflicts from sources of distress into opportunities for growth and understanding. Empathetically and without judgment. Silence in times of suffering also allows us to cultivate compassion and empathy. Compassion in Buddhism is not merely feeling pity for the person who is suffering. It is a deep sense of shared humanity and a genuine desire to alleviate the suffering of others. Silence provides us with the space to truly understand the experience of the person who is suffering, allowing us to connect with them on a deeper level. In addition to expressing compassion, silence in times of suffering can also facilitate healing. By creating a space for the person who is suffering to express their emotions and experiences, we are helping them in their healing process. Expression of emotions has been shown to have therapeutic benefits, reducing the intensity of suffering and promoting emotional well-being. Silence in times of suffering does not mean we should never offer words of comfort or advice. It simply emphasizes the importance of creating a space for the person in pain to express themselves and be heard. Words can often fail to capture the depth of our suffering or seem inadequate in the face of immense pain. In such moments, silence can be a powerful expression of our shared humanity and our compassionate presence. In conclusion, silence in the face of suffering is a profound practice rooted in the Buddhist principles of compassion and empathy. It is a powerful tool for expressing our shared humanity, offering solace and facilitating healing. It reminds us of the importance of being present, listening deeply and respecting the experiences of those who are suffering. Through this practice, we not only alleviate the suffering of others, but also cultivate our own capacity for empathy and compassion. Silence can often be the most healing and compassionate response we can give to ourselves. Choosing silence in times of our own suffering is not about suppressing our emotions or avoiding our pain. Rather, it is about creating a safe and non-judgmental space for us to express and acknowledge our feelings. Silence allows us to confront our suffering head-on, to fully experience our emotions without distraction or denial. This process can be incredibly therapeutic, helping us to validate our experiences and begin the healing process. Silence also fosters self-awareness and self-understanding. When we sit with our suffering in silence, we are able to deeply reflect on our emotions, thoughts, and experiences. This introspection can lead to valuable insights, helping us to understand the root causes of our suffering and identify potential solutions. Moreover, silence encourages self-compassion. In times of suffering, we can often be our own harshest critics, blaming ourselves for our pain and dwelling on our perceived failures. Silence provides a space for us to practice self-compassion, to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer to a loved one in pain. It allows us to accept our suffering without judgment, acknowledging that it is a normal and valid part of the human experience. In addition, silence can be a powerful tool for grounding and centering ourselves in the present moment. In times of suffering, our minds can often become consumed with worry about the future or regret over the past. By choosing silence, we bring our focus back to the present, helping us to find peace and calm amidst the storm of our emotions. In conclusion, silence in times of our own suffering is a deeply compassionate practice rooted in the Buddhist principles of self-awareness, self-compassion, and present moment awareness. It recognizes the healing power of silence and the importance of honoring our own suffering with kindness and understanding. By embracing this practice, we can navigate our suffering with grace and resilience, fostering inner peace and facilitating our own healing, growth, and help to foster a deeper understanding of ourselves and the nature of suffering. Silence during our own suffering helps us to face our pain and emotions directly, rather than avoiding or suppressing them. We are able to fully experience and express our emotions, acknowledging them without judgment. This can lead to emotional release and healing. Furthermore, silence within our suffering grants us the opportunity to practice mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being present and fully engaged with whatever we're doing at the moment, free from distraction or judgment, and simply observing and accepting what is. This practice can help to alleviate suffering by allowing us to recognize and accept our pain, rather than trying to avoid or suppress it. While turning to others for support and understanding is important, it's equally important to recognize and honor our own suffering. By choosing silence, we are giving ourselves permission to feel our pain fully and to process it in our own time. This honors our own experience and respects our own journey through suffering. In conclusion, silence in times of our own suffering is an important practice rooted in the Buddhist principles of self-compassion, self-awareness, and mindfulness. It provides the space for us to fully experience and process our pain, fostering healing and growth. By embracing this practice, we are better able to navigate our own suffering with resilience and grace. In a world that is often loud, chaotic, and demanding, the practice of silence can be a sanctuary, a place where we can retreat to reflect, recharge, and reconnect with ourselves. These moments of stillness and solitude allow us to gain deeper insights into our thoughts, emotions, and experiences. They provide the necessary space for introspection, self-discovery, and personal growth. In the silence, we can observe our reactions and responses to the world around us without judgment or distraction. We can recognize patterns in our behavior, uncover our hidden fears and desires, and learn to understand ourselves on a deeper level. This heightened self-awareness is the first step towards self-transformation. Furthermore, silence cultivates mindfulness. In the quiet, we are able to focus and be fully present in the moment. This practice of mindfulness not only reduces stress and promotes mental clarity, but also helps us to live more fully and authentically. We learn to appreciate the present moment and to find joy and peace in the simple act of being. The wisdom of Buddhism teaches us that silence is not only a response to specific situations, but a way of life, a practice to be cultivated and integrated into our daily routines. It encourages us to create moments of silence in our day, no matter how busy or chaotic it may be. This could be as simple as taking a few minutes each morning to meditate, or setting aside time each day for quiet reflection. By embracing silence, we move closer to the ideals of Buddhism, to alleviate suffering, cultivate mindfulness, and awaken to the interconnectedness of all beings. We not only find solutions to life's problems, but also uncover a path to inner peace and enlightenment. The practice of silence, then, is not just about avoiding negative situations or emotions. It's about creating the space for positivity, growth, and transformation. In the words of Buddhist monk Thich Nhat Hanh, silence is essential. We need silence, just as much as we need air, just as much as plants need light. If our minds are crowded with words and thoughts, there is no space for us. By choosing to be silent in these 5 situations, during anger, gossip and slander, conflict, witnessing the suffering of others, and our own suffering, we are creating that necessary space for us. We are choosing mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom over reactivity, judgment, and fear. And in doing so, we are choosing a more mindful, compassionate, and authentic life.